So this is just a meeting to talk through the story, the general plot, and then any possible shots that we might want to use, so then we can start on doing the storyboard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll read the treatment out.
Is that the second version?
Yeah, this is the last version.
Mm-hmm.
Helena, a young, resilient and ambitious woman, is an intern working for a major magazine. She seems to be liked by the management, much to the chagrin of her fellow interns. They taunt and bully her, nastily commenting that she doesn't deserve to be there, that she's pandering and sucking up to the boss. They notice her self-defence leaflets on her desk and jibe that she can't defend herself. Little do they know. The boss hands her an assignment to take pictures of nature in urban areas for a new feature in the magazine, so she sets out to find good locations to photograph, determined to prove herself to her colleagues. She wanders around outside the office, taking pictures as she goes, and finds a deserted, dirty alley behind a building and some trees. Unsure at first, she looks around before walking towards it, taking pictures as she goes, until she hears a disturbance past an overgrown section of greenery. Voices can be heard arguing, one powerful and commanding, the other seemingly begging for their life. Helena peeks around the corner to see a victim being threatened by a man with a gun. She recognises the man with the gun to be the boss and surreptitiously takes a photo of the scene. Slightly horrified, she watches the boss shoot the victim and then runs away, thinking her presence hasn't been detected. However, the boss can be seen in the distance, stood next to the blood pooling next to the victim's head, watching her go. Back at the office, Helena is working away at her computer, looking through the photos until she reaches the one that she took of the boss. She looks at it for a moment as snatches of the overheard conversation between the two men reverberate around her, getting louder, before quickly closing the window. When she realises the boss has come up behind her, he asks what she was looking at. She claims it was Facebook and apologises. He then asks to see her in his office after work, when everyone's gone, with her camera, to see the photos she has taken. Neither of them know that they hadn't seen each other. The tension is palpable. The boss approaches the subject delicately, stating that if she mentions his involvement with the murder, he can make sure she never gets a job in publishing again. She blackmails him, presenting the photo and saying that if he employs her full-time with a good wage, the photo will never be seen again. He threatens to kill her and take the photo, but she explains that there are multiple copies of the photo that could find their way into the hands of the police and the rival publisher. He becomes extremely angry and panics, shoving her against the wall. They fight scene choreography here, culminating in the two of them struggling for control of the gun he used to shoot the victim. The film ends with a build in the music, a cut to black, silence, then a single gunshot.
So,
I think me and Lucy talked about possibly changing the ending because she wouldn't want to shoot him in the workplace and he probably wouldn't want to shoot her in the workplace. So if we end it with just her overpowering him using like self-defense techniques, then she just overpowers him, takes a gun and a photo and just kind of like leaves him on the floor or something.
but she's the more
So it'll be
powerful
unconscious.
Yeah.
one. Or like begging for mercy, like, oh, it's fine, I'll give you whichever job you want. So he's the weaker
He's
one,
the weak one.
which is
Because it's kind of like
Role
changed.
reversal.
Yeah.
against stereotypes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So do you have to actually draw this out?
I think we can draw it out later, but we just need to decide on what we want to do.
What
Kind of
would
like
it look like?
Basic shots for the different things.
Like what happens in each
Yeah.
change of thing.
And like how we want to start as well. You don't really want to start with it at just an office. So obviously like looking at film openings last year, you've got to do something that grabs the reader's attention and just makes you think.
Or is it chilling down
Yeah.
at the beginning?
Because I read that in a short film you have to grab your audience within 6 seconds, otherwise they'll stop watching. So I think if we start with her running away from the murder scene,
Flashback.
the flashback with the boss in the background, but we don't know it's the boss yet, obviously.
It's just a man in a hoodie with like red on.
Yeah.
You know when we were speaking, so we would do a flashback with the boss to show the difference. Would that, and there was a suggestion of doing it in black and white. Would that mean that the beginning would have to also be in black and white? Or would you want them to kind of, not guess, but I guess they would know anyway. But
I think colour. And then when she comes across like the murder scene before it actually happens, she can see the murderer and spot his watch. And then because earlier the boss has given her an assignment, in that shot we'll make sure we get his watch in it. So then we can flash back to that shot and then perhaps put that in black and white to show it's a flashback. And then cut back to the present day. And then I think I was thinking, we don't actually see the boss shoot the victim. I thought we could perhaps do like an extreme close-up on Helena's eyes and then cut to black and then we hear the gunshot and then we do a graphic match like coming back up on her eyes but she's back in the office. So
like
in that
away or whatever.
okay. So in that section that's where the running would happen, that's at the beginning.
Well, I think when it's things like at the start, it's good to, like what I've seen when I was analysing a short film, the short film Soft, it started off with like this kind of like really intense thing where they're all like running towards this thing and there's a fight going on, it's all kind of a bit like, oh my, what's going on? And then it cuts to black, and it's the title, and then it cuts back to just like a really normalised thing, so it kind of makes you question like, wait, what's the intense thing at the start got to do with this a normal thing? So it kind of like draws in curiosity more. So if we just start it literally with just like a bit of like an establishing shot or like a long shot of her just in the office with like the clock ticking in the background, and you can hear some like faint talking in the background, and then her co-workers come in, the other interns being rude.
So how long do you think this is going to be?
I'm hoping not more than 5 minutes, but I think it might end up being like 6. But if it is, then we can always like take things out.
Are we keeping the location college or?
Yeah, because going outside of college would mean using like
The equipment as well.
yeah. And it would just different cameras. It would just be like a massive pain.
And if we keep it in college, it'll be easy for our actors to be here as well.
You don't have to worry about real quick and just like get to that location.
Transport difficulties.
Yeah.
Especially if we're using the crane.
Yeah.
That'll be hard to move. I mean, obviously it'll be dismantled, it won't be like shifting a massive thing around. But
I think it would. I'm trying to think of. I thought about using the crane somewhere and I can't remember where I wanted it to be. I think it might be cool to use it in either in like when the boss is like shooting the victim, or when Helena is fighting the boss. Because obviously it gives like a very good high angle. You don't have to worry about getting like a big tripod.
You have to think about the angles during the fight scene to show that the high angle that she's then overpowering him and all that.
Yeah.
I thought about, I think if he ends up on the floor, you could then like lie down with the camera, like it's his point of view looking up at her. She's the more powerful one.
With the fight scene as well, if we're doing things like punches, you've always got to make sure it is a good angle. So it's mostly over the shoulder shots that you do for like fight scenes, because then
Because you're actually hitting the person.
that's not real. Because if they go too far over, like in the middle of them, you can obviously see the difference. Whereas if it's behind, and you just do that, it looks.
You can't tell it's not connected.
As long as they like react accordingly, it should look good.
For the title, after the scene of her running, we were all discussing, weren't we, the other day, how we could have like the sound of the flashbulb going off, and then like the whistle bit at the end.
Yep.
As that happens, like have the title like fade up,
No, that'd be good.
and then cut to black and back up on the office.
I think it would be good, yeah, to have a flashbulb.
I mean, it is camera exposure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's another idea as well? Camera shots, storyboard wise.
I mean, what's the final last bit? Is it going to be a close up of something, or is it going to be a wide shot of the scene and him on the floor and her leaving?
Ooh, were we thinking before? If we did it from the point of view of the boss, she could just be like smirking, like she's got what she wanted, and just walk out of shot,
Yeah.
like end.
Yeah. Cause yeah, I think it would be good, like showing that she has this hidden malicious side, but she's not. It's kind of like they both are very similar people. They both will do whatever they can to get what they want, but she knows where to draw the line, and he
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
So then,
Because it goes good.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it would be fabulous if, like, at the end she's kind of like walking out. She's got what she wants. She kind of like raises the gun up to him, and it looks like she's gonna like actually change her mind shoot, and then she just like drops it on the floor, just laughs. Yeah,
Mm. And like,
because that basically just taking the mick out of him, just being like, I know I have the control over myself to say that isn't necessary.
it's like a organised chaos.
Yeah.
Right. Are we done?
Yeah.
I think it's